If you want to make everyone happy, don't be a leader. Why real success often means being disliked. If you want to make everyone happy, don't be a leader. Sell ice cream. Steve Jobs. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's one that many successful leaders have come to understand. If you're striving to make every person in your life happy, you're likely missing out on your true potential as a leader. This quote by Steve Jobs brings a deeper truth into focus. Real leadership and true success often come with the price of being disliked. But why is that the case? And why does it matter? Let's take a closer look at why being disliked is not only inevitable for leaders, but also essential for meaningful progress, growth, and success. Buckle up, because this might challenge how you think about leadership. 1. The reality of leadership, making tough choices and sacrifices. As a leader, the primary responsibility isn't to please everyone. It's to make tough decisions that benefit the larger vision, organization, or community. True leadership often involves charting a course that others may not agree with or may find uncomfortable. When you're at the helm, it's your job to make decisions based on the bigger picture, not immediate popularity. Psychological insight. The tendency to want to please everyone is deeply ingrained in human nature. According to social psychologists, our need for acceptance is a survival mechanism. Humans have evolved to rely on social bonds to thrive. Pleasing others creates feelings of safety and belonging. However, when a leader focuses solely on pleasing everyone, they end up diluting their purpose and weakens their influence. When you stop trying to make everyone happy, you open the door to making more strategic and impactful decisions. Leaders like Steve Jobs understood this well. His decisions at Apple, from product design to business models, often sparked backlash. Yet his vision didn't rely on winning everyone's approval. It was driven by his belief in innovation, quality, and pushing boundaries. His ability to take bold steps, even at the cost of displeasing others, ultimately transformed industries. 2. Why being disliked can be a sign of strong leadership. Most people naturally dislike conflict. We strive to be liked and avoid the discomfort of rejection or confrontation. But as a leader, conflict is often part of the deal. In fact, if you're never facing criticism or resistance, it could mean you're playing it too safe or not challenging the status quo enough. Psychological insight. According to research in leadership psychology, the discomfort of conflict and criticism is something leaders must learn to embrace. When you avoid these moments, it's often a sign of avoiding accountability or hard truths. But when a leader makes the necessary, difficult choices, they establish themselves as someone who leads with integrity, even when it's not easy. Think about some of the most influential leaders in history, people like Steve Jobs, Winston Churchill, and even Nelson Mandela. They faced immense resistance, and in many cases, their actions were unpopular at the time. But they stuck to their principles, creating change that reverberated for generations. Being disliked was often a byproduct of their determination to lead with conviction. 3. The psychology behind discomfort in leadership. Emotional resilience. Why does being disliked hurt so much? At the root of it is our human need for validation. When we face rejection, it activates the same neural pathways associated with physical pain. We don't just dislike being disliked, we feel it in our bodies. This is why many leaders struggle with tough decisions, especially when they know they might upset people around them. However, real leadership requires emotional resilience, the ability to face adversity head-on and not be derailed by the opinions of others. It's about sticking to your values, even when your choices might hurt someone's feelings or disrupt a comfortable status quo. Psychological insight. Emotional resilience is a skill that can be developed over time. A leader who embraces discomfort becomes stronger, more confident, and more effective. Research shows that leaders with higher emotional intelligence EQ are able to navigate tough situations and criticisms with greater ease, while still maintaining empathy and compassion. They understand that criticism doesn't define them. It's an opportunity for growth. Real emotional resilience means being able to withstand harsh judgment without internalizing it. It means maintaining your confidence and sense of direction, regardless of what others think. If you're constantly worried about being liked, you're unlikely to make the tough calls that will push your organization, team, or mission forward. 4. Leadership versus people-pleasing? The fine line. It's easy to fall into the trap of people-pleasing. After all, who doesn't want to be liked? Who doesn't want to feel that sense of approval and admiration from those around them? But when you cross the line from leadership to people-pleasing, you risk losing your authenticity, and more importantly, your effectiveness as a leader. Psychological insight. People-pleasing, or seeking constant approval, is often rooted in an insecurity about one's worth. Psychologically, when we please others, it triggers a dopamine release, rewarding us with a feel-good chemical. However, in leadership, this becomes problematic. According to experts in behavioral psychology, people-pleasing can undermine a leader's authority and decision-making ability. If you are too concerned with making everyone happy, you're likely to undermine your own power to act decisively. Leadership requires a sense of inner certainty. It's about staying true to your values, even if it means a few people will disagree with you. The best leaders balance empathy with assertiveness, caring for others without compromising the needs of the bigger picture. 5. Accepting the discomfort. How to thrive. When you're not liked. The truth is, if you're going to be a successful leader, you have to get comfortable with being disliked. This doesn't mean being reckless or inconsiderate. It means accepting that your leadership may not always align with the preferences of others. Psychological insight. Embracing discomfort is part of the process of developing resilience and leadership maturity. When leaders accept that not everyone will like them, they free themselves from the paralyzing fear of rejection. A key component of this is self-acceptance. Leaders who accept their own flaws and understand that being disliked doesn't define them are more effective in their roles. When you stop trying to please everyone, you can focus on the important aspects of leadership, innovation, vision, and progress. You'll make better decisions and inspire greater loyalty from those who respect you for your convictions, not for your attempts to please. 6. Leadership lessons from history. Transformative leaders who embrace discomfort. To further illustrate this point, let's look at other famous leaders who didn't shy away from tough decisions and the discomfort that came with them. Take Steve Jobs, for example. His approach to leadership was anything but conventional. He was known for being demanding, often blunt, and not concerned with winning popularity contests. Yet, his unrelenting pursuit of innovation transformed Apple into one of the most valuable companies in the world. Similarly, Winston Churchill faced intense criticism during World War II. His decisions, which ultimately led to victory, were often met with resistance from both within his country and abroad. But Churchill, like Jobs, knew that true leadership was about making the hard choices that would serve the greater good, no matter how unpopular they were at the time. These leaders understood a fundamental truth. Leadership isn't about being liked. It's about creating change, shaping the future, and leading with vision. It's about understanding that the discomfort of being disliked is simply part of the price for achieving something great. Conclusion: the paradox of leadership. In the end, the paradox of leadership is this: the more you strive to make everyone happy, the less effective you become. If you want to lead, you have to be willing to make decisions that may not please everyone. True success isn't about winning everyone's approval. It's about making the bold, often difficult choices that will push you, your team, and your mission toward greater achievements. So, when faced with the choice between pleasing everyone or following your vision, remember Steve Jobs' words. Real success often means being disliked, but it also means changing the world in ways that others cannot even imagine. Takeaway: if you want to lead with conviction and make a real impact, you must embrace the discomfort of being disliked. Only then can you focus on the bigger picture and create the kind of change that will leave a lasting legacy. Leadership is a journey of resilience, courage, and staying true to your purpose, even when it means not everyone will approve.